Hey there, everyone. Welcome. And if you're not familiar with my voice, I am Kim Krompass, the founder of the Price Action Traders Institute here in San Francisco and the beautiful wine country of Northern California. Today, I realized I haven't made a video in almost 2 months. It's time to make a video. Only today's video will be just a little different approach. Today, instead of making a live trading video, I thought I'd make a quick recap video of what went on during the New York session and talk to you briefly about planning sessions and trade plans. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market, and we're going to look at the 10 most popular pairs that we actually do trade plans for every time we meet. Let's go ahead and go look at the market. All right, so let's start with the first pair in our 10 pair sequence that we do actual trade plans for. And this is the euro dollar that you're looking at. This morning during our trade planning session, this pair was ranging. There was really no direction on this pair at all. And it looks like there was a small break, which never really went anywhere, did not put a move in either direction. So this really was not a focus of this morning's traders, or shouldn't have been a focus. Let's go ahead and jump to the EJ. The EJ, though, however, had this beautiful short move in place. We had a pullback area identified, and traders who took that during the session or had taken it before, just like I had, would have been rewarded with a nice at least 20 pip trade. I think the pair dropped about 32 pips off the pullback zone, and I ended up punching out of this trade at plus 23 on this trade. The trade actually went through our first target, which was at 50, and then the next target down at 20. Price did not quite hit there. It got shy of it at 27. The GU was the prime focus of this morning. The EJ was of great interest, and I would say that the pound was the most interesting one. The pound dollar had set up beautifully overnight. There was ranging price action. The price action broke to the high, failed miserably, and then came crashing through the lows of the overnight Asian range, and then put in this beautiful short move. During the planning session, we were looking for pullback areas, and price was running away from us, but we did identify momentum, and there's a way that we teach you to specifically trade that. I couldn't trade the momentum simply because I was doing the trade planning session, but what I did do was get in on a pullback area, and I ended up coming out of that trade, jumping out of that trade with plus 26. This pair came down into both of our targets through 80 and then into 50, and actually got shy of the ultimate target down at 20 at 24. The pound yen, tracking right along with the pound this morning, had a false break to the upside, then came back and broke to the downside, and maybe falsely right here, and then traders would have looked for a re-entry. Or if they didn't take this initial break, they would have taken a break that actually worked, and the pair then started to drop beautifully. Again, there was no pullbacks here before the New York trade planning session. We identified momentum. Traders who know how to trade this can trade it, and may have been stopped out. I actually took a pullback area trade and was stopped out quickly for 12 pips, and then was able to do a re-entry trade at a price level once price came through that level. And I ended up punching out of this trade for plus 29. And if you take my minus 12, that gave me a net of plus 17 on the GJ this morning, because I did get that first stop out on the pullback area. The AU was in this beautiful clear move to the upside, which happened overnight during the Asian session, and then it went into a pullback and quiet consolidation. New York session traders were prepared to take a pullback trade in the area that we had started with at the planning session, or identified, I should say. And that trade just never went anywhere. In fact, it kept drifting, which is one of our risks, is that we look for a lack of follow-through. I was long this pair, and I jumped out of this trade for minus 7. And part of the reason I did that was I saw it pulling back, and I had just been stopped out on the Australian yen, which we'll get to next. The Australian yen also had a beautiful clear move to the upside. New York session traders tried to, or maybe attempted to, like I did, took a pullback area trade, and the trade was stopped out And the trade plan on both of these would have been adjusted at this point, and there was no further opportunities. I booked a 12 pip loss on this. Lastly, or not lastly, I should say next, is the dollar yen. And the dollar yen just was stuck in this 26 high to low racket going back and forth, not going anywhere. There was no opportunities for New York session traders to take. Dollar CAD, though, there was an opportunity this morning, and it was right before the New York session began, and it was right here when price did a beautiful break and then put a clear directional move in, came up through yesterday's high and hit our first target up at 50. Price got as high as 53. I did not trade the pair. The Cad Yen, very choppy and very messy. Looks like it had a couple of breaks that failed, one here, and then it finally broke here but never went anywhere. Price is just chopping around. No real movement in one direction. And I never took any trades on this pair either. New Zealand dollar, lastly, is our 10th pair that we planned for. And this pair was ranging this morning. It looked like it had a break here and then closed back inside the range. So traders who took that would have looked for a re-entry, and there was never any opportunities after that happened in the New York session. All right, so just briefly, let's go ahead and talk about the opportunities or the lack of opportunities in a summary type fashion. So that was it. Quick and simple, short, 10 pairs. And again, this strategy, planning strategy, method, whatever you want to call it, actually can be used on any currency pair that you want. We limit it to 10 in order to get through a session and give traders something to potentially sink their teeth into. One of the things is that you leave the trade planning sessions knowing exactly what to do, and it's up to each trader to decide which trades they want to take, which opportunities they want to stand aside from. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to each trader's risk tolerance, their time schedule, how their trading has been so far, let's say this week, this month. And there's a lot of different variables. They're both personal and subjective that we take into account when we decide which one of those opportunities do we want to actually take a risk in. Planning also helps you identify not only the opportunities, but it also helps you identify where you don't want to trade and what you need to wait for and in order to actually take a trade. All right, so that's it. I hope this helped you a little bit. Think a little deeper about trade planning and its value in helping you identify trading opportunities and also to help you with staying on the sidelines and not risking your money when you don't have a trade plan that actually gives you a trigger. All right. Thanks for listening. And this is Kim Krompass from the Price Action Traders Institute. If you want more information about us, go to our website at priceactiontradersinstitute.com. All right. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon.